I'm getting tired of your bullshit. I'm tired of your voice. I'm getting tired of the way you leave me hanging with no choice. If you would ask me long ago, back when you seduced me, yeah, I felt like a domino, but I knew your reliability. He said, baby, I've been dying to see you. Almost thought we were through. I've been busy hanging with my boys, but you look stunning. I forgot how fine you are, but I didn't forget to give you a call. I was just busy with
Adapts and holds on to that L, and hopefully he doesn't hold on to it too long because he's still going to have more matches coming up. Hopefully he can brush it off and come back stronger in the losers bracket.
Oh, that was winners, huh? Oh,
That was winners. It's not over.
Good.
He's not out.
Yeah,
that was winners.
Okay, okay. I thought that was like a send-off. Like, oh, man, like, thanks for playing. Thank you for playing.
No.
peace. At the hands of a helper, brought me weak to my knees. If you would ask me long ago, already knew you were poison. Yet I felt like a domino when you showed up here. He said, baby, I've been dying to see you. Almost thought we were through. I've been busy hanging with my boys, but you look stunning. I forgot how fine you are, but I didn't forget to give you a call. I was just busy with, oh, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Such a dumb, it's almost funny. The way he believes in his own lies, or the way he believes that my doubts won't rise. Oh, shut up, shut up, such a dumb, it's almost funny. Although I cry myself to sleep, although I think you're all I need, I have to get a grip of this. I have to let this feeling slip. Oh, shut up, shut up, such a dumb, dummy. It's almost funny. Oh, shut up, shut up, such a dumb, dummy. It's almost funny. Although I cry myself to sleep, although I know you're bad for me, I have to lay my hands on this bag you have.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
as I can.
An ally has been slain.
Yes.
Turret plating will fall soon. Your team has destroyed a turret. slain an enemy.
I'm getting tired of your bullshit. I'm tired of your voice.
I'm moving as fast as I can.
Leave me hanging with no choice. If you would ask me long ago, back when you seduced me,
Shut down. Double kill. destroyed a turret.
fast as I can.
It's what I need. Now if you wanna get the best of me, I'm smiling, that's for sure. Funny how you had the best of none. I don't know if I'll make it home. I don't know.
Okay. Sure.
is what I need. Now if you wanna get the best of me, got you smiling, that's for sure. Funny how you had the best of love. I don't know if I'll make it home. I don't know, not like I care. All I know, turned out this gold. Only know I want the best of us. So I dance the night away when nobody's awake. I'll be the last to stay. Dance the night.
You know, you got to be feeling good if you're playing really well this weekend. I'm sure that he's feeling good, but obviously his next match potentially is the winner of Kakadu versus Kudo, which is a tough road either way, no matter who it is. So that'll be his match to see if he's going to qualify in top 8 winners, and that'll be the next match we have right after this. So really well played, though, I think, in this matchup.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I would say like he plays super well. Like he was able to get a bunch of perfect parries, and he was trying to kind of close the gap with all the bookies that he has. But Mena, you know, he was messing with the Blanca balls, and like I mentioned before, being the trickster of this match, where he's able to kind of mix his opponent. But Kishiri, he still had that defense on deck, but Mena comes out at top.
Yeah, I like how frequently too that he was willing to change up his offense once he had Blanca 10 out. Like, you know, going for the throw, calling out the parry for the first time, and even though he got DP'd once, he wasn't really dissuaded from anything. So some really smart decisions on offense. And Kishiri, he looked pretty comfortable in the matchup. Actually, he didn't have that many moments where he was like, I don't know what's going on.
Like he's scared or like staggering. Right, exactly. But overall, yeah, right there. I always say this. It's the least that you expect the command grab that's coming. It hits you and you're just like, man, I didn't even see that coming, right?
Yeah, how are you supposed to remember Blanca has a command grab? You're like, what, they gave him this? And then you're like, yeah, he's had that for a while. And you're just like, how am I supposed to remember that? But yeah, see him getting set up on the stage here. I mean, man, Fudo back-to-back JP matches for him. And Kakadu obviously defeating one of the world's favorites, the fan favorite for sure earlier on. And really looking like the man to beat this weekend. I feel like Kakadu looks kind of deadly in this bracket.
Dude, he is deadly for sure. And the thing is that it's always nice to highlight his big win at
Match
Gamers 8,
the
where-
pushing power as Doran going to the Jax should be no surprise.
Yeah, big stuff here. I love it. All right, my favorite is, even though everyone's looking at Caps versus Chovy, the support matchup, Mickey versus Delight, both support players are so huge for both of these teams. Were really, really big parts in getting them here to Worlds in the first place.
Exactly right, and this is the handcrafted counterpick to the pick that Delight has found the most success on in his career. He began the Fear of Delight's Rakan on Brion, a team that was not necessarily touted as one of the best in Korea, but it was still feared in his hands alongside Henna on that team, and it has only gotten better as that time has gone on, but the Lissandra might just be enough to stop it in its tracks.
I gotta say though, the front line of Maokai plus the peel that Lissandra provides with a double 80 carry core for G2 does look really strong, particularly because everyone on Gen G is very short range. Is going to be forced to try and play forward into all that CC that's available.
So excited to get on the riff for this one, especially because when you have the Tristana mid, even though the magic resist was reduced for this patch compared to when we always used to get to see it, if the Silas doesn't touch you, then it doesn't matter. If you've got a Maokai coming into your lane, flash W, and Tristana rocket jumps on your head as Silas, you can just get pushed out of the lane entirely, pushed out of the game.
So it is going to have to be something that we track here, of course. Chovy has been very, very good on melee matchups into range in the past. We'll see how Caps is going to do. Let's do it. Let's jump onto the rift here for game number 1. Whoever wins this best of 3 gets to quarterfinals alongside JDG.
Oh, a trap.
I love it. They have the ward early. They see Doran here. They're going to wrap around. They have so much CC. They have the Lissandra. They have everything. Oh, Doran, no. I feel so bad for you, buddy.
This is not what you want to see. Cap's going to jump on top of him, gets the slow, as already the leap strike has been used. He still has flash. I have a feeling he's actually going to be fine.
It only cost him a trinket.
There we go.
It only cost him a trinket. Never mind.
That's nerves of steel. Like, if I saw that, I'd be flashing immediately, but I guess the flash angle didn't really offer itself up.
Doran has nerves that are Forge of Steel by himself, sometimes voluntarily. I gotta give him credit for that one. Does have to start Leap Strike, which obviously in the Renekton does mean that your level 1 is gonna be a bit of a rough one. Also want to highlight as well some of the rune choices.
Yep, but I want to remind everyone that they can connect their League account with Prime Gaming to grab the exclusive experimentation emote. Experimentation like, you know, Lissandra support that actually works out very, very well. And without that experimentation, you're not going to be able to find these results.
No, you have to. Particularly, and I really appreciate G2 for this, that they're willing to just play their own style. So it always worked for them. And what made them such a fair team back in 2019. One short note, Caps actually did end up going for Demolish. I love that choice. I think that Tristana in particular uses it so well into melee matchups.
Another big thing about the Lissandra pick, as we can dive even more into it, is that it's so good with a champion like Ezreal that could allow Mickey to get more roams off. Really, really powerful support style champion where you can go topside, you can roam to mid really early on. When they've got the early push like this, it gives you so many more options.
Yeah, and all of these CC angles that we see mid laners come up with certainly still just apply, right? So like you're saying, you can get into those backlines and find those key targets. Pays with his cleanse, gonna have to need to keep that one close to his chest.
Yeah, and oftentimes for mid laners, some of the things you have to worry most about are support roams, not just these junglers ganking your lane and burning your summoner spells, as we see Broken Blade getting the entire wave in here. But if they're able to get an opportunity and have a pushing bottom lane, which gives Mickey roam timers to go just even burn a Chovy flash, that in itself could cause him to drop even more CS because you have to play even more safe in the mid lane. You have to always worry about the Maokai coming in.
It's over.
And this is the benefit of the level 1, right? The fact that Doran doesn't actually have his W, so has to go Q into E. And then as a result, doesn't actually get the cannon. BB also gets a free back, is going to choose to teleport back to the lane to try and maintain as much pressure as possible. And unfortunately for Doran, like there could have been a dive window there as well, but with Yike starting on the top half of the map, doesn't actually end up happening.
Yeah, both junglers full clearing opposite sides, so we'll have a Scuttle Crab split.
Oh, manages to find the chain here as Chovy will take a fair bit of delayed damage. That evens out that trade between him and Caps. Peanut now looking for an angle on this top side. Broken Blade playing with a fair bit of space given to Doran, so it doesn't look like Peanut's going to go for anything as Delight is spotted on this sweeper.
Yeah. And both teams should be pretty well aware as far as the jungle starts on opposite sides. So you even saw a blue ping there on top Scuttle Crab. They know, hey, Broken Blade, he's taking top Scuttle Crab right now. Don't expose yourself.
Oh.
Yeah, Doran actually going to be able to walk up to Broken Blade here. Knows the Slice of Dice is on cooldown. Good trade, but still, Doran was looking for a little bit of a cheater. And now, looking for Broken Blade. Peanut can just safeguard his way over. The Q is going to miss. And Broken Blade will hang out underneath his turret and he'll be fine.
Really big for BB to survive. Will still be in a rough spot here though, because Doran crucially can teleport back to the lane as he misses another cannon. Let me zoom in there to make sure that we know. But I do think that Broken Blade still surviving there is big. Peanut not really willing to invest anything, which I think could have definitely looked for a kill there, but not going to take the risk. Instead, it's going to be Doran teleporting back to lane, but we do see Yike already covering towards the top side.
Exactly. Love that ward. Always the deep vision between Gromp and Blue Spawn. Going to allow them to know the second clear route. Meanwhile, I am definitely curious if Caps and Chovy remain as aggressive as they have been in the mid lane. Looks like we're going to try and shadow Broken Blade up here.
Yeah, Doran does get the bad news. There's a tree in his lane. That is just going to be that wave being dealt with. Like you were talking about, Broken Blade in a little bit of a rough spot. Yike there to help him out.
Yeah, really good job there by Yike, because with the teleport disadvantage for Broken, or rather Doran teleporting back, if you don't fix that wave and Doran gets to just sit there, he either gets a plate or gets to just go for a really impressive roam. Not going to be the case. It means that instead, BB just gets the back, make his way, and spend his gold.
Exactly. And Doran's never going to like take an extra bait trade there or anything, because he obviously saw Yike on the ward too.
Delight just having a good time here. Hansama taking next no damage because it's a Rakan. Still looks kind of cool, avoiding the W and stuff like that.
So this Ezreal topic, are we going to...
do we want to address it?
Address it a little bit?
I
or,
like the tech, the exhaust PTA tech. I just feel like the champion thus far has not really been worth the trade-off, because I do think that Ezreal, as mentioned, the main point is that, as we have seen, Mickey is basically never in bot lane, has consistently been a thing, but is that worth having an AD carry that offers so much less damage than particularly the Xayah, which has been wildly successful this far?
Well, Mickey just going to Circle of Frost and then get out of there with the Claw. One thing that they do have on G2's side is another AD carry. So you don't
Very
need
true.
to worry about the not as much damage on the AD carry because there's another AD carry that does more damage.
You got the backup AD carry,
And
but which one's backup in that case?
Well, the thing is, like, Caps
It's
is
Ezreal.
the one that
It
has
has
like
to
the
be.
early spike and the super late spike, and Ezreal has the mid spike, and so you balance it. You know,
So
that's
you
how it's supposed to
always
work.
spike. So you play every side. You always come out on top.
That's how it works.
Love it. Somebody is always spiking. Meanwhile, G2 always taking this dragon. Number 1 picked up for them. Peanut tries to take something back on the top side with the invade on blue buff here. Make them pay a very small price for it. But of course, we saw the trade on bottom side. How Mickey, again, goes back there. They get the push out. He does the aftershock trade is the reason he walks up like that on Lissandra, throws his claw backwards so he has his escape ready, then knows he can walk up, boom, hit the W root, proc his aftershock, get a good trade, get the push out, earn themselves a dragon. They've got the Tristana mid constantly pushing. The only place where Gen G can really continue to push and get their advantages has been this top side, but Broken Blade taking most of Doran's health.
Yeah, I think Doran trying to set up a bait there, but then Peanut was spotted and had to just run away from the Maokai, so Broken Blade was like, that's fine, I have Dominus. I'm going to be able to do a lot of damage. Not enough to force any summoners or kills. Will trade ultimates, though.
Yeah, G2 so happy with the double pushing of mid and bottom, allowing them a lot of control here in the early setup. Looks pretty good for them. Of course, they're looking for revenge against G2. MSI, of course, mentioned by Dylan Falco. It's going to be difficult, though.
Certainly will. So far, so good. Here for G2, things very, very even when it comes to gold. Only 300 in it, no first blood just yet, but that Drake certainly going to give G2 a lot more control of this game. Next one, going to be that Ocean. I think we're ticking up towards 35 with that one. Good to see. And Chovy clearing out this mid lane. Delight is parked here, and that means that there is a Rift Herald on the map. Our first team fight could be afoot. Kobe?
All right, number 1 thing to look for, can Chovy get sight of this Maokai to steal his ultimate?
Ooh, that is the question. And does Yike have a stopwatch to deny that?
Doesn't have a stopwatch, but he does have some vision.
Okay, Hansama gonna get out of there.
Hey,
Blade
he
Caller
has
was
it. Chovy picks it up.
All right, objective number 1 complete. That's objective number 1. Get sight of the Maokai.
How many items are on the list?
Steal the ultimate. Honestly, that's number 1, and then we look for the Rift Herald. Mid lane push though, Mickey's taking advantage there, so helps Caps. Although Tristana doesn't need a tremendous amount of it. I wonder how close Mickey is to his level 6 as well, since he is leeching experience. Delight is already level 6. That could be a very big difference. Oftentimes in these Rift Herald fights, if the support level 6 difference, the extra button to push here in the fight, is not equalized.
And the
Still
wave
no
is-
6.
Yeah, it's quite a long way away as well, so Mickey's going to have to wait a little bit of time there as Chovy. He wants to find it, and like you say, there was no level 6. However, Mickey is going to get rooted, but he should be far enough away. Never mind, Chovy looks for the angle, but now the explosive charge is there. Caps is just wrecking Chovy on the way through, but still, Peanut, in the meantime, is just going to try and take this Rift Herald by himself. Yike is going to turn up, and he still has the real Nature's Grasp. Peanut going to get out of the way because he respects that fact. Delight is going to find Peanut here, and now Caps dives in. Another explosive charge is primed as the chains connect, and first blood solo kill for Caps.
Mickey burns the flash from Chovy with the bait. He don't need no level 6, and then Caps finishes him off. Perfect buster shot to interrupt Chovy. He can't connect, and Caps gets the first blood. G2 gets the Baron. G2 smurfing in Korea low so far.
And it's not a Baron quite yet, Kobe. It's just Shelly. It's just a Rift Herald. But still, it may as well be. And sometimes Barons are way worse for some of our teams.
Mickey. My goodness. Quick fingers for him, and now they're looking to trap Peanut.
Peanut going to safeguard his way out. The popcorn chickens belong to Yike. So there's the consolation prize. Jovi back to lane. Tail between his legs, though, and you can see down about a wave right now. Let's have a look at the replay. Caps.
Oh, yeah. He knows there's no flash on Chovy because Chovy tried to make the plan to Mickey under tower, and so he's just ready. Buster shot, he knows. Chovy tries to come in, instantly out, has the auto. Beautiful.
And there's a chance that if the Kingslayer had have gone off onto Caps, if he had have made it into range, it might have worked out, but not to be the case. Caps just read it.
Yeah, and I think that if you have your ultimate, Caps, you know, this is the type of confidence that this player has been talking about coming into. Feels like he's been lacking that throughout the last few years. And moments like that you need against a team like Gen G. Now, early about 800 gold lead, but there is still a Herald available here for G2 to try and further build upon that. Second Drake also spawning.
And you
10
actually,
seconds.
Since you get so much gold from killing Rift Herald now, with the full 300, Yike already finishing Demonic Embrace with his first strike, Maokai. With his red smite here, Cap's gonna have no trouble getting out and away from this turret. They've got also the first item advantage in jungle here with the Demonic completed.
Oh, Doran has ulted. There's the dominance from Broken Blade as well. The Empower not going to be enough. And Broken Blade just walks his way out. No worries at all.
Doran staring him down as he walks away.
This is the look that you want if you're a Gen G fan, though, from Doran. This guy has been up and down, but it's mainly been up at this end of this year. Good to see that he is standing his ground, despite the early game and that missed cannon is probably still weighing his mind.
We do have multiple people going towards the bot side. G2 probably looking to put down Herald. Will be the case. Gen G taking control of the river. But Chovy has to catch this wave. Did get Mickey's ultimate. But again, the fact that...
Oh, slice and dice. Broken Blade looking for it. Doran, he's going to deny the stun. That's what you need as Chovy does find the Everfrost, but not going to find any kills or anything like that. Broken Blade now going to give it another shot. Doran doesn't have a lot of mana available. We'll see whether he is going to be able to keep himself alive. There's the counter-strike. That's the button that you're looking for. And should be able to survive this, but Broken Blade bullying.
And even though Chovy invests the Lysandra ultimate, hands also forced to heal, still took a ton of damage. And that is seemingly enough to make G2 rather say, hey, we're going to back off, going to give this one up. And it's a Hex Stack Soul. Really high value, and I love the Hex Gates, the amount of action they generate on the map. And we do see Mythics now starting to come through. Both Broken Blade has his Gore Drinker available, as Caps being up gold. Almost 1k against Chovy, courtesy of this counter pick. Pays.
Yeah, that's
be
the
okay.
claw. Not even going to interrupt the back from Delight that Pays can taxi onto as well if he would like to. Not going to though, wants to get a bit more gold before he heads back. Doran now back up towards the top side. He invested his teleporters. Chovy finds the chain. Not that time as the Everfrost does come in, but Peanut gets the kickback. Buster Shot is now available for Chovy as Caps just trying to keep himself in this one. The next chain should land though, and Chovy gets his revenge with a little bit of help from his friend. Speaking of friends, Yike's up here to help out Broken Blade, but it looks like Doran will be okay for now.
Really good job there from Peanut, making sure they can actually get the kill onto Caps, and Caps doesn't blow his flash. As soon as he sees Lee Sin show up, he knows he's been had. He had some pretty good mechanics avoiding Chovy's initiation there, but once Peanut's there, he's down. Now Gen G, see if they can actually even get back to try and defend. Doran knows it's too dangerous. They're teleporting bottom for the flank.
Yeah, that's a real deep teleport as Chovy's making his way in. Blade Caller comes down. Another Everfrost is going to catch onto Han Sama. The Frozen Tomb does come through, but can Chovy be stopped at this point in time? The Chain Lash comes in. Han Sama thinks he's going to get out, but there's the quickness. Chovy locks down the kill, and Mickey X, he goes golden, but he may not survive. Does flash away, so he will live to see another day this time. Sorry about the rhyme. As Gen G look to push in the next minion wave.
Might not be done, Chovy. Oh, I think that claw might have been a giveaway.
Well,
Chovy might be in trouble here.
Gets pushed back. And Chovy taking a few shots. Pays is not going to risk it. The hitbox can be a little bit weird there as Chovy takes the opportunity to get himself in nature's grasp.
Oh, Pays actually flashing instead of using his cleanse there. And going to be favorable trade in terms of kills, but G2 do fight back.
What an exciting game we have here. So close in gold, split dragons as well. Of course, the top side here, now with both of them having their mythics completed, Doran is able to get the push out.
The question I have about the using the flash instead of the cleanse, because that's really curious, right? Oh, gonna have to hold that thought as Chovy gonna throw down the nature's grasp. Caps just gets out of the way, and all the Gen G, it's just fine. Not able to do it. Yeah, it's just no worries there at all. But the question that I had, is cleanse actually more valuable? Because cleanse ult might be better
against
than having a flash
against Lysandra.
Interesting.
I don't know. I'm just posing the question.
Honestly, pretty interesting. Even though the cooldown is longer, the in-combat ability to bait people.
Yeah, he made a conscious call, right?
Yeah. You can certainly bait people in, but honestly,
flash is pretty important.
You press tab and you know he's got cleanse, right? So
yeah. Well, Chovy gonna lose his turret, and Cap's doing his job on this Tristana right now, putting even more money in. Has the Merc Treads on top of his first damage item in the Kraken Slayer. The G2 in a great position, but it's not represented in the gold, it's not represented in the dragons. And now a teleport to come forward. They're looking for the second Rift Herald. That could start opening up the map here for G2. Peanut not wanting that one to happen. Chovy moving on over on Vision as Doran's taking a Hex Gate over the Jax, looking for the flank angle, and Nature's Grasp comes in. And Gen G, can they actually get into position to fight this one? The Rift Herald has already gone down, and G2, they just want to get out. They're just looking for the disengage, and they'll have it.
I want to say, too, on the Flash Cleanse, since we're not going to actually get a team fight here, and they're going to split top side for G2, mid lane for Gen G. I think they get the better end of the lane split, is that you don't have to take the damage if you're going to go with that option, and he was a little bit low, so doesn't want to get poked down. G2, of course, Rift Herald has to be answered here with the hard push.
It's true, Chovy is going to turn up, but that is a lot of damage to this turret, and it looks like G2 are thinking about just staying here. There's a counter-strike. The flash finds everyone from Doran, and now Chovy's looking to answer. Still, Delight dives forward. The Buster Shot's massive, but it's not going to be enough. As Caps goes down, Broken Blade is huge in the back line, and the Dominus is actually ticking down. Chovy out of the fight for now, but Broken Blade doesn't have any friends anymore. He's still trying to do what he can. The Kolbamik is fantastic, but it's Pays that gets one.
Doran, you absolute beast with the huge counter-strike there. Him and Chovy set it up. Oh, look at this timing.
And G2 feels so safer. You're pushing with multiple people. Getting this turret would be so big, but the flash counter-strike from Doran combined with the CC from Chovy sets up the play for the rest of Gen G.
Yeah, he steals the Lissandra ultimate, uses it against G2, and then Broken Blade, even though he's full health in there. He's got 4 members of Gen G around. This Crocodile has nowhere to escape to, and that is a big, big play for Gen G.
Still, a lot of turret gold went over to G2. Doran will be able to push down this bottom outer, and the Drake is going to be taken, so only now does the trade become very Gen G favored, and it might be even worse, as Chovy, he's picked up a Dominus as well. Broken Blade taking a little bit of extra damage. And the Gen G solo laners are now in position to start flexing their muscles.
And in the LCK, this is where we've often seen this. Hold up, Doran.
Okay, yeah, Doran is just going to stay here. Peanut is going to turn up as well, but Broken Blade will survive. Chovy's in so much trouble, and Doran's going to go down with the help of the True Shot Barrage, and G2, they're not going to be bullied.
As I was about to say, this is often where Gen G takes control when the game opens up, when it comes to the team fights and the side laning. Their macro is so oppressive in the LCK, but G2 actually punished the overextension there as Broken Blade makes his way out.
And the key to that choice for Gen G is the timer. The 1 minute on Baron when they start that play on bottom side, trying to make this play here. They know it is a little bit risky, but they got plenty of time, even if it does go wrong, to get back to the top side of the map. Here it is, though. Chovy and Doran at it again, trying to make it happen. Chovy taking up the tower, though. The Ezreal True Shot does clip him, and the Maokai burn finishes the job.
Really nicely played. And Gen G, they do have that Drake advantage, of course, with Hextech Drake on the field. Not only do you get the fun gates, but you also get a ridiculous soul that is up and available. G2 will be fighting for the next one to even things out on that score. They're going to take the gates through, look for an opportunity around this red buff. Chovy possibly getting closed in on, but he's wise to it. He will be able to get himself out of the way. The Brambleback now going to pull itself back as well. Pays wanting to collect that one. G2 with control of the river for the moment. The Baron going to be up right now.
And looking at the items, we see 2 items for Caps. Obviously was able to pick up a kill, able to pick up a lot of gold from turrets. Same for Chovy though, sitting on 7 stacks as Mickey.
Yeah.
Will be fine.
As the aftershock, he'll be okay. You can continue.
Looking at Pays, not actually able to finish his second item just yet. With Hans already sitting on his evolved Mana Mune as well. Ezreal obviously with the cheaper items going to spike a little bit earlier in that regard. We'll see if it actually ends up mattering though, as the fight between Doran and Broken Blade continues.
It is. And Doran is going to win because he killed the ward. Well done, Doran. Absolutely nailed it.
Love it. The ward trophy.
Uh-huh.
The battle of top laners with huge stakes. Honestly, though, yeah, the quick blades will be really big for Pays. Once Gen G are able to get that, he's got both summoner spells available right now.
Doran! It looked like he didn't even care. Do you know what? That was a flex play. That was him saying, I don't even need cannons.
Yeah, but Broken Blade didn't see it, so you don't do the mental damage.
No, but the crowd saw. This is for those the comments that he's going to see after the game.
Peanut.
All right, Hansama. He's Ezreal, so not in a whole lot of danger. Mickey X in a similar position as the Lysandra as he gets back on his claw. The claw of doom, as
Here's
Quick
my
Shot would
question.
say.
If we've seen that many cannon misses on camera, how many happened
Don't
off
think
camera?
about it.
No,
Don't think about it.
LCK observers,
They don't miss those.
they
It's-
don't
it's actually true.
They don't
Okay.
miss. They find them all as Doran. Caps
Jonah
on his
strongly
way.
trust.
No
And-
counter-strike.
Yeah, Cap's just going to rocket jump his way forward. He saw there is a fire on the bottom side, and Doran is just going to walk away. Wants to take the minions with him, and he will be able to do so.
They'll drop the cannons, but those melees, go in, grab
no.
them all.
Especially custom minions. No, Doran does not allow those ones to go unchecked.
Oh,
This is a bit dangerous. There's the counter-strike. See where this rocket jump is going to come from as Doran is looking for it. Caps just holding onto the button. He leap strikes early, and now it's Delight that's going to make his way in. The quickness will charm him up, and the Q's not going to connect, so Delight says, all right, I'll take it. And the True Shot Barrage sails by Doran, and he'll be okay. Now it's time to go back and buy.
yeah, if you're looking at the mini-map during that one-on-one, you know the ending to the story. The Hex Skates used by Gen G as Doran challenges Caps and has the extra teammates to come in.
Pay's just going to walk out of the way of Mickey. Does have that Frozen Tomb up and available now, but with no Caps, can be a little bit dangerous. 20 seconds and teleport is available, so Caps can be there in a moment's notice. So not a whole lot of map control given over to Gen G for that reason. Chovy just going to bait out a sapling, but now both him and Pays are standing on a ward that could be a little bit dangerous.
All right.
Still, I think Chovy just getting into the brush, throwing out chains left and right.
I feel like we're at the doorstep of seeing why Delight is renowned as such an amazing Rakan, because he's going to have to get through Maokai Ultimate, Lysandra Peel, Maokai Peel to get this engaged for Gen G, but I actually have confidence in him to do it, and Chovy has been so good here at finding flanks and following up. G2, they definitely have to get their wards down. They definitely have to watch their flanks and mark these engagers.
Particularly in the context of a best of 3, G2 on blue side, right? If you are gonna have to bend the Rakan, as Broken Blade does take some damage, but if you're gonna have to bend the Rakan for the rest of the game, particularly if you don't end up winning, you swap to Reptide eventually, even if you are able to pick up the second game, could be a big problem there as Drake started up.
Yeah, Cap's already taking it down to below half health, and it looks like Gen G not going to be able to challenge for the Dragon, but can they find themselves a fight is the question. There's the teleport in, as it's right on top of the Maokai. Doran, and now look for that angle. Nature's Grasp is going to come out from Chovy this time around. Broken Blade going to be taken down, but it's at the cost of a lot of health bars, but there goes Yike as well. It's a double kill for Pays. Mickey X trying to get himself in a position, but it's Doran that's ripping them apart. Caps is still up, but he has about 1 health to his name, and now Hans Sama, can he find the angle? The answer is no, because Counter-Strike, it allows you to dodge a lot of auto attacks, gentlemen, and Gen G will pick up the ace.
And with the Hex Gates, they might be able to make their way over to the Nash, and they might not get the Drake, but I think they're gonna be calling war from that one.
Yep, the call from Gen G immediately. Just look for the kills. The stolen Maokai Ultimate, 10 times as impactful as the original item. Peanut and Doran using the teleport there to 2v1, take down Yike as well. And it's just a massacre here.
And I know Doran, he might not hit his cannon minions, but he does hit his counter strikes.
Hey,
And that's what
Tristan is
matters.
just a big cannon minion, right? It has the cannon, it counts. And that is going to be the Baron taken. Mickey X is now cruising towards Chovy, but he does claw his way out. He's going to flash, he's still going to die. Peanut picks up that one. He's going to be taken out for his trouble, though, and there's a Frozen Tomb on top of Caps. The chains don't land, but the lash certainly does. And Doran collects that kill in the end. True Shot Barrage from Arn Summers. Now he wants to try and take matters into his own hands, and now Broken Blade takes himself a Hex Gate to get out, and I think that's the end of the action.
Oh, it's gotten exciting, it's gotten frantic, but you know Gen G, they keep coming out on top. Massive, massive lead now. Baron buff, and there's plenty of secondary towers here for them to go siege up and increase this Baron power play. Mickey taking the Hex Gate over. A bit ambitious, and Chovy is there on arrival. Welcome, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not, that one was perplexing, but it was just a bit of a Hail Mary, and you have to kind of take those when things are starting to go wrong.
Yeah, trying to flip it. Not even the power of Hex Gates can get Hans Sama to this fight in time. And a little bit fragmented RG2. They're trying to maybe get some exit kills, maybe catch Gen G off guard. Not really going to be the case in the Red Bull Baron power play. Now 2K for Gen G. The play from G2 did delay a lot of what you normally see, where Gen G would immediately start sieging, right? Immediately get the wave crash after the empowered recall. Did slow down a little bit. Storen.
Yeah, going to get spotted on that ward. Does use a control ward to leap Strike away, so that's an expensive exit from the situation. But Pays is going to put some money back into those pockets of his as the inner turret is going to fall. Broken Blade not going to find the angle, and Delight and Pays looking a little bit immovable in this game. Still, Pays taking a fair bit of damage. The Maokai with the first strike actually able to do a little bit. Still, Pays not too worried about it. Close to his third item. Lord Dominic's going to be coming through very, very soon. And now they're just dotting some I's and crossing some T's as they move towards this inner turret on the top side. Potentially about to break out. We'll see whether G2 can stop this as the siege is coming in.
And they're splitting 4-1 here with Doran knocking on the front door. This Jax, all game long, so much pressure asserted by Doran. So many plays opened up by Doran.
Oh, Chovy has thrown down another Nature's Grasp. This time, the Arcane Shift going to be enough to get Hans Sommer out. There's a kick on a Broken Blade. Not exactly the best from Peanut there, but into the backline goes Delight, but he's stopped in his tracks. There we go. That's what's supposed to happen as Mickey X is taking so much damage. Chovy now able to throw the chains out, but he's going to miss that one. It's a double as this Xayah is just so huge. And Pays is going to be able to grab most of it. Still, Hans Sommer at full health, and he is Arcane Shifting forward. Can he get them out of here is the question as Gen G turn, look for an opportunity, but I think they're just going to back away.
Crucially, G2 is able to hold on to their base, not actually giving up any inhibitors, but I think Gen G should still be able, with the loss of this Baron buff, to make their way back, set themselves up for Soul Point.
All right, let's take another look at how it started. Chovy moves into the Fog of War on the corner with the stolen Maokai ultimate, forces them all back. Hans have to shift away from the fight. Then they go in. Delight, though, he runs into the exact problem we're talking about with this comp, where there's so much peel, so much CC on G2 side that they're able to kill him. Only thing is, it's immediately answered as Mickey goes in and uses the offensive Lissandra ultimate, so he has nothing to save himself. He immediately goes down to Chovy.
Speaking of offensive Lissandra ultimates, that's another use for it.
He's gone!
Very glad that we had that example. Just unfortunate. You have to be warding, and sometimes there's going to be a Silas in there. I do love the fact that we actually get to see why the Lissandra is so good into the Rakan, though, because Delight's like, yes, I've got the grand entrance, everything's going to be great, and then he was dead.
And here we see, and this is obviously by design, when you go for the Ezreal, Pays has been funneled so much resources by Gen G, wave after wave, right? Turrets that go down, picked up 5 kills throughout all of these fights, and as a result now, they're able to afford the QSS stacks without even having to give up any offensive power.
He's been so impressive. Youngest player at the tournament, 17-year-old Pays, rookie of the year, 700 gold bounty on his head. That's maximum. If G2 can manage to take him down, then there would be a huge bounty, but Gen G are not going to give you that opening. They push the lead, they pick up Dragon number 3 here, setting up their soul point, and they immediately flex into 1-3-1 split push. They've even got more security for Pays.
QSS and Mikhail's?
QSS and Mikhail's and Cleanse and Xayah ultimate and Flash. Cleanse not up right now, but they've got 2 backups.
Okay, well, the CC not going to be as much of an issue here for the Xayah, and he's been a bit of a quiet achiever this game. I feel like we've been talking a lot about Doran, a lot about Chovy, and Pays has just been sitting back, throwing feathers, and people have been dying.
Just like him in real life, pretty quiet in those interviews.
Absolutely.
Pays interviews are my favorite. There's just the gap between
it's just the amount of words that he gets out. You know, he's so succinct.
How ruthless he is in game, offset against how just relax. You know, he's just there. He's just vibing. He's not saying a whole lot.
Somewhere there's an Ashley Kang groaning. As Mickey X is just going to look for another opportunity here. Lissandra pick potential is certainly something that G2 can leverage, and I think that picking out a member of Gen G to try and get some semblance of tempo is what they're going to need to do. As now Chovy finds himself in Nature's Grasp, gets rid of it immediately as the chains are not going to connect the rocket jump just to buffer, so the CC's going to be there, and in goes Delight, finds the angle this time around, and Caps is dead already. Chovy goes gold, and Delight finds the knock-up, and Broken Blade was looking for him. Mickey's going to die in the backline. It's a triple, a double. There's the triple for Chovy. And now Broken Blade, I think it might be the pentakill, our 4th of the tournament. That would be absurd. Jovi is pretty low trying to get into this one, and Peanut wants to feed it to him.
Don't do it, Peanut!
No flashes available. He's Peanut! He did that to Ruler so many times throughout the years. Ruler left the team, and now he has to do it to Chovy.
Peanut says pentas are earned. Where were you?
I think that is a direct quote, yeah. And now Gen G gonna break down these Nexus turrets. It was a really cool try and a great start for G2, but not quite enough to get them over the line. The Nexus will fall down, and Gen G 1 game away from the knockout stage.
LCK number 1. All right, you guys have impressed me.
Thanks, I'm glad.
Yeah. Look, the thing is, I think now you can probably just ban the Rakan and have another go at it. And I think that's probably fine. I like the idea of going for it, but now the backs are against the wall. Delight shouldn't play it, you'll have another go. But let's throw it over to the desk and see what they thought about that game number 1.
I thought it was a cool try as well, and yes, that's what Atlas said. A cool try.
Got some attitude on that.
Yeah, it definitely was. They tried things, G2, but I think you see kind of pound for pound when that game goes on, and when it comes down to some of the decisions you can make, how much might is just packed into all those singular players on Gen G.
Listen, Gen G is amazing. Like JDG, Gen G, 2 tournament favorites. I'm actually, for a team that lost 20 kills to 5, I thought G2 was in it for a while.
Yeah.
Like,
That's true.
I love poking fun at G2, but I actually do think they're really good. They might not be top 2 seed in Swiss good, but they are really good.
What is the things that makes you think that as we run through some of these replays, because there's some that I want to call up, maybe start with in the top lane where in the end Doran just gets an absolutely massive moment to turn around that fight. I think that that's one of the indicators of kind of how quickly this can turn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was just a huge play there. You could see that Mickey was trying to ult him to actually prevent him from going in, but he got the flash off prior to getting Lissandra ulted, and it's those tiny, minute details that really can swing a fight.
Exactly, and this started as a 3v4. I think really hyper old school LCK teams wouldn't do that fight unless it was even numbers or advantage numbers, and I think that is one of the differences that can make this team so elite, is their ability to see these undermanned situations and still make big plays.
And I mean, even as at the end of it, the way that these teams are actually playing out the team fights, to always use the maximum amount of their health without actually dying, you know, always knowing how to play their champions to the very, very limit is something that constantly impresses me.
And on top of that, on top of being effective, that is also extremely frustrating to play against if you're G2, right? Because you just keep thinking, they keep getting away with it. I was so close. Jat, to your point then, what are the things that we saw then that you liked, and how was Gen G able to counter it so effectively then?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of fights where G2 got away with little slivers of health as well, but I think they just had better initiation in a lot of situations. I thought Chovy got a big goal lead in this game, and it was a really good game for the Silas. Like, yes, the pocket Lissandra is nice, but a Silas with Lissandra is a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
And in like this fight in particular, it just didn't start well for G2. You can see the Maokai is stuck on the wrong side of the fight. Another beautiful Silas ultimate coming in when he steals Maokai. And Chovy being able to buy all that space. Think about it. He initiated the fight. He did most of the damage. Then he became untargetable. And it allows them to just double team them with Doran at the end.
Well, yeah, and I think the positioning of Doran and Peanut in this was so critical, right? Because you have the stolen Maokai ultimate coming from one side. And G2 wants to step forward and attack the 3, but they can't because Jax will be into their backline at that point. So it's these multi-prong attacks. It's the way that they're timing that attack, the way that they're timing their coordination, it makes it so difficult for G to actually have any recourse in those fights.
And silently, Xayah could always get in the right position as well and tear through.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd like to talk a little bit about some of these picks, right? Because Hansama, you know, brought out the Ezreal. He was banned out on some of these aggressive picks, and he went completely the other way, right? It was the Kalista banned out, the Draven banned out. Historically, this has not really been one of his picks that he goes towards. You know, 9 and 14 all time. I never really think of that sort of Ezreal player. He also isn't really a big Zeri guy. There's some of these meta picks that he never really just picked up on, but he's so good at the picks that he really shines on. I just don't think that this is really one that suited their style, because one of the biggest things for G2 has been that aggression through bot lane, and I think they were kind of neutered in that way with this Ezreal pick. Yes, they brought out the Lissandra. That was cool. It was 2-0 for Mickey in the LEC against the Rakan as that counterpick matchup. But Xayah on the other side, 10-2 now. 10-2 in the group stage. That is a really, really crazy record. We've been seeing Kai'Sa and Xayah as the main 2 picks. Kai'Sa, even amongst the LPL and LCK teams, has been losing. Xayah has been dominating, and I really did feel that Gen G had the edge in the draft.
Hans played Xayah yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, this is not strong. I don't know what you're talking about.
Not as good.
Well, let me play Ezreal." No, just kidding, of course. But yeah, it is interesting to see, and I think this also goes to your point a little bit. They had a game plan, right? G2, they wanted to try something different. Of course, the Mickey Lissandra as a counter to the Rakan is a special on his part that we also seen most recently in the LEC. So you can't really blame him for that.
No. I mean, I just think I would like a more aggressive pairing, as far as a bot lane alongside it, because it just doesn't feel like you can really punish the Rakan that well with the Ezreal. I also feel like, when you're playing this sort of a comp, I think they were trying to get pretty clever with how they're moving things around the map, bringing the Tristana back towards mid, which hasn't really been a popular pick as an answer into that Sylas. But unless you're really playing very far ahead, I feel like it's really difficult into the matchups that you have. The Sylas is going to be really difficult in the late game, especially with good access to ultimates that he had. The Jax is going to outscale the Renekton. I felt like they had the advantage in the bot lane as well. So to me, it was a really difficult draft to play out for G2 if they weren't crushing early.
Well, they picked blue side, so we actually get to see them run it back. So I'm wondering exactly what they're going to change. I really like Gen G's bans. Draven, Kalista, Orianna, super solid.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly where G2 is going to be able to pick up the changes. I think, honestly, trying to get a little bit more skirmishy, because they were a team that needed to set up like almost perfect team fights, and they got flanked again and again. So
yeah, the Sylas also, we're seeing it emerge now. Of course, it's always been, as long as I can remember in recent memory, a very strong pick. It's just that some of the others, like the Azir and like the Ori, have been so powerful. But I wonder if that's just going to sneak in a lot more.
I think part of it is the evolution of the draft phase, because generally speaking, today, Red Side hasn't been banning like the OPs. They've been target banning and opening things. Yeah. And Maokai was one of the champions that Sylas is really good against, because you get to steal the Maokai ultimate. So the fact that Maokai went through made the Sylas stronger. So I think if we keep seeing stuff like that, then the Sylas will stay. But if they start banning Maokai again, Sylas will disappear.
Speaking of Maokai, in our latest episode of Oppo Welcome to the Rift, we've talked to G2's Yike about his debut at the World Championship.
Hello guys, this is GT Yike. This is my debut at Worlds. And I always had a dream to qualify for Worlds, and since I was a kid, I actually thought it was gonna be very hard for me. But when I joined G2, I think my team was extremely confident, and they made me very confident. And now we qualified for Worlds, and my dream is becoming true. Watching every year all the best players in the world play against each other, it feels like surreal for me to just be here and participate in it. I think my biggest advice would be to just keep sticking to your own game. I think you have to believe in yourself, and that's something I realized in the last years, that if I believe in myself, I play my own game that I know I'm good at, I will go far.
Bringing in a new roommate to save money, is that the plan?
Say hi to Glenn from work.
Yeah, I think I have a much better plan. We switched to my plan from Verizon.
That is a good plan. Glenn.
Get my plan starting at just $25 when you bring your own phones. Plus, save when you add perks like the Disney Bundle. It's your Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
나를 꺼내줘 네가 바라는 것을 위해 말해줘 둘만에서 너를 비춰 이루리다 봄블락탈락타 널 비우리다 내 맘에 약속해 이 순간 영원해 이대로 너를 향해 빛을 내 이렇게 네가 바라는 대로 꿈꿔왔던 그대로 전부 보여줄게 whenever whatever 이제 내 곁에만 머물러줘 지금처럼 나를 바라봐줘 언제나 우리 함께 할 거야 널 향한 아름다운 이 밤 조금씩 물들어가 벅차올라 이루어지길 너의 소원 난 나에게 말해 들어줄게 거짓말 안 해도 흔들리지 않아 손잡아 이루리 이루리라 이루리 이루리라 모두 다 이루어질 거야 나를 느껴봐 우린 원해 원해 어둠 밤 속에서는 빛을 찾을 거야 이루리 이루리라 두 번 다시는 오지 않아 다른 세계로 너를 던져 더는 멈춰있지만 내와 너의 맘을 내게 보여줘 나를 믿어 저 하늘 위로 날아올라 이루리 이루리라 또 다른 세계로 나를 느껴봐 우린 원해 원해 노력 어둠 밤 속에서는 빛을 찾을 거야 이루리 이루리라 내게 보여줄게 이루리라 어서 와 What's your play?
Light is going to find Peanut here. Now Caps dives in. Another explosive charge is primed as the chains connect and First Blood. Thinking about just staying here. There's a counter strike. The flash finds everyone from Doran, and now Chobi's looking to answer. Doran, you absolute beast!
I'm moving. Oh, I would see from here. Yeah, looks decent actually. Yeah. Nice!
Finds himself in Nature's Grasp, gets rid of it immediately as the chains are not going to connect the rocket jump just to buffer, so the CC's going to be there, and in goes Delight, finds the angle this time around, and Caps is dead already. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for game number 2. Genji taking game 1, but G2 ready to answer back. And if our first series was anything to go by, we are going to the distance. That's how it goes. 6 games.
Sounds
6
good
games,
to me.
right?
Now,
That's what we
G2, red side, they're going to have some crazy Broken Blade counter pick. We got the Mickey version. Now we're going to get the Broken Blade version. Some Kled, some Swain. What do we got in the cooking up here?
Yep.
G2, this team, when they're at their best, they do have all these really, really creative picks.
That's true. And the first one...
blue side.
Yeah.
I was about to get into that.
Yeah. G2 on blue side once again. Genji not going to have a chance to play on there if they manage to win here. Do have selection if they lose. Poppy and Vi both taken away. Peanuts champion pool getting attacked. And we can see that once again it is the Orianna and the Draven taken away. We can see the Callista if we want to run back of the last bans, and there it is. Now Broken Blade, what is he going to pick up? Because that is a Silas ban and a Maokai first pick. I love it.
Yeah, it's got to be the moment that you know that Chovy isn't going to R3 Silas again and just have a better Maokai ultimate the entire game. Makes that pick a lot safer. Obviously still very strong. It does also mean that the Haze and the Light get Zyra Khan again.
Do they just do it again, though?
I don't...
You never do.
There we go.
Okay.
We get Lucian here. Yes, let's go. And the Nautilus lock-in instantly here from G2. They had not one, but 2 ideas for how to give over Zyra Khan to Genji. Whoa, that is bold.
That's one way to do it. And of course, you can attack them in the early stages of the game. There is going to be Peanut locking away the Rel. And that's going to keep things a bit open as far as these solo lanes are concerned for Genji. Bans to come through now.
Man, yeah, that is massive. But the Rel lock-in here, I mean, Rel Rakan is some of the best engaged in the entire game. We saw so much of it just ruling playoffs, especially if you have a Lucian on your team, short-range champion, relies on dashes. You cannot dash when Delight's Rakan and Peanuts Rel are coming for your head. It is going to make the game so hard to play.
Also, wouldn't be surprised if Genji end up giving counterpick over to Chovy. I think with the fact that G2 are very clearly going to be playing towards this bot side, if G2 are also able to, again, get a priority lane for Caps, like it last time, right, with him being able to push in early, if he can then roam towards bot, they can set up early dives and completely eliminate pace from the game. It could be an angle towards victory. We'll see if Gen G is going to be able to find a matchup here that allows Chovy to still have bot lane impact.
And he could take the Lucian into the mid lane here for Caps. Him
Yeah.
or Hansama could pilot the champion. So they have a Maokai jungle. You can always have, you know, AD mid lane there if Caps likes the Lucian look
Lucian
for himself.
top.
Yeah,
The throwback.
Or top.
I was going to
Honestly,
say, you could also have Senna come in at B4, and then you've got Senna Maokai on the bottom side of the map, and we don't know where anyone's going. But let's just, we'll
I've
address
played
that
in
if we
jungle,
get
just
there.
saying.
There's plenty of
Not good, but
yeah. What about on the other side? What about top lane Rakan, guys? It is going to be Jack's banned away here. Doran getting the respect that he absolutely deserved. Even though the cannons were a problem, the winning the game was absolutely fine.
It's got to be Cassante, right? Would be my my expectation
Tristana
here.
is another thing that they might want to pick away, potentially. But we'll see what they decide to do. Is
Okay,
that,
Chovy.
yeah, blind Akali is probably
He doesn't,
what I
okay,
do.
never
Yeah.
mind. He doesn't care about bot lane impact early. Good luck with that one.
Well, I mean, theoretically, still a
Interesting.
possible Doran pick, a flex in
Not
theory.
impossible.
A ninja battle in the mid lane, perhaps. But no, that's just going to be a flex, and we'll see exactly where G2 are going to go with their next round of picks. Expecting solo lanes, but it's G2, so you never really know. Cassante going to be the first one, and now we're expecting Caps' lock-in.
do they want to do another double 80 carry, though? All right. Not this time. They've had enough.
I do really like the Talia, though. Is one of the picks that can actually play towards the bot side, have a really big impact. We've seen BDD, Chovy, Yagao all play that style where you use the Weavers well offensively to ensure that your bot lane can get the support or that they need.
Plus, it's theoretically very good against the Kali and Rakan and Rel with the rock field and the
And
stuns.
Aatrox.
Sometimes that can be hard to put into practice, but he also has a Maokai and a Nautilus on his team. So it should actually come to fruition there where you have so much setup to be able to guarantee seismic shoves as well. So I want to see Caps working with that Maokai guaranteed route to guarantee your seismic shove, or with the Nautilus doing the same.
And even if it doesn't end up working out, I think G2 make the right call here. We saw the game against D+. Bot lane, Prio, and the way that Hans and Mika were able to play out the early game was one of the big reasons why, up until the Baron, it really did look like D+ had nothing to say at all in this game. And we know that Gen G, especially when it comes to teamfights, can be relying on pace to consistently output the damage.
Once again, one of those times where Gen G have decided that frontline is overrated and they'd like to just do damage, pick cool champions, and have a great time. I think that on G2's side, they have a lot of utility.
Oh no, I saw 369 Aatrox. It looked pretty frontline.
That was
heavy
pretty
to me.
techy. That's a good point.
The healing and shielding of the Gordrinker Sterix build can definitely do some work there as well. Man, I'm excited though. We get a Lucian here at Worlds, coming in hot. See if they can push us to game number 3.
Anything that's not Xayah versus Kai'Sa, I am absolutely down with, Kobe, but it is time, ladies and gentlemen, let's get onto the Rift. For the second time this series, G2 against the ropes, but of course, they've got another shot. Even if they lose here, Gen G will be given birth into the knockout stage to join JDG.
I'm still kind of reeling from having 2 draft plans of giving over Xayah Rakan. But if they can pull it off, that will be massive, massive, massive for the entire tournament. And here we go, Mickey leading the way on the Nautilus, looking for any early flash advantages they can get. Hansama does get the ward over onto the blue buff as well. So they'll be able to suss out the peanut start.
Yep. Chovy taking 2 rocks. So some pebbles to the back of the head for the Akali. And he's taking the fleet footwork. He should be absolutely fine in this lane. The Caps on the Talia will have the push advantage, and priority in mid lane is something that we like to talk about almost too much because it is so very important.
And it's pretty easy when there's an Akali lane because pre-6, that's going to be non-existent for the Akali side, and Caps see what they can do with it.
It is really remarkable, though, because Chovy for so long has been a player that was about lane above all else. And he's gone for Akali twice and really got pummeled. And in the last game, basically did the same thing Blinding Silas getting punished by the Tristana. As the hook.
Yeah, hook gonna connect onto Delight here. And with the heal from the Gleaming Quill, just looks like it's an even trade.
I think at the very least versus the T1 match, they definitely learned not to fight around the level 4, Kali. Spike.
Oh, the hook. Second time could be the charm. They get the cleanse out from Pays already, and Delight down to sub 50% still. Mickey X taking a fair bit of damage here as Hansama also pretty low. What happened in this mid lane? His Caps is very, has been damaged quite a lot.
Making it spicy here. We could have a jungler wrap around. Currently, Yike on the
pings.
Maokai here is looking towards bottom side. And if you know you're going into it, you're picking this Lucian as Yike will get clipped by some vision there on the ward, I believe, allowing Peanut to come down and try and stop this possible dive.
Yeah, Peanut gonna spot him here as well towards that tri-brush. As you can see, another hook gonna hit a minion. Oh, even got the observers on that one. Like to see it. That means it's a very close one. If the observers are also thrown off. Chovy now gonna have to deal with this one. Has to flash. There's the twisted advance as Yike pushes Chovy back. This could be another first blood as the sapling's gonna be there, but it's not quite enough. G2, they get the flash out of Chovy this early on. Absolutely fantastic.
And a huge chunk of damage as well. Let's see what they can actually do with it. You mentioned the mid push and the roams from Caps. Maybe they can actually affect that bottom lane. So much kind of hinging on this bottom side champ select. Mickey and Hansama continually going into the brush to try and get these angles.
It's the grand entrance. Mickey has a bit of a plan.
They want to stop that crash.
Now the re-engage opportunity. They get Delight. Delight says that's fine. Still piercing light flying through. He's taking a bit of damage, but an even trade once again here on this bottom side.
Yeah, they got the Ignite down as well. And Caps is going to finish up pushing that mid lane. But it looks like Gen G will be fine here.
Still haven't gotten the quest just yet.
Another hook. Got to connect here from Mickey X, but he's going to get knocked up this time around. Delight is extraordinarily low. He's going to have to flash, and there it is. The light slinger from Hansama will get first blood in the 2v2.
And Caps with that mid push was coming down. He's spotted on the ward here, so Pays should know and back off. But my goodness, the Lucian Nautilus pick actually pays off. They get their first blood.
And particularly with the PTA, right, the amount of early damage that you can output can be very, very surprising. Gen G so desperate to try and get that crash that they give over an early lead to the bot lane of G2.
And they needed every last little bit of damage. It was the second shot of the Lucian passive that just barely flipped that kill and got Delight.
BB taking a bit of damage here towards his top side, but he has teleport still available. Doran going to be able to get himself the crash, and he should be feeling just fine. If you have a look at the CS numbers, looks like the Cassante is absolutely all right in this lane. Do want to remind everyone that this is in fact our featured matchup presented by Mercedes-Benz. Caps versus Chovy as we check out this replay on this bottom side to see Hansama picking up first blood.
All right, Mickey with the initial hook. Then they tried to turn it back around on him. Delight with the W and the both supports flashing out, but Mickey with the extra 100 HP. Meanwhile, the last shot does take down Delight. I want to point out that our scoreboard needs a little refresh here, so if we could just drop that back down. Some fishy scoreboard work going on here where they only handed out 1 assist, no deaths, and no kill.
Hansama has a kill, don't you worry. What is
I've never seen that one before.
Well, yeah, some weird calculations going on where we've got an assist, but where did it come from?
Often you see like there's a death, but there's no kill.
Chovy.
At the top of the screen is Chovy, looks for the angle, but Yike is here. Seismic shove to push him away. He does have ult 2 still available, and now we've got to fight towards the bottom side. Peanut looking to help out his bottom lane. Mickey X in trouble, and he's going to be taken down. That is not first blood. That is in fact the second kill of the game, as Pays going to be able to collect that one.
So you got some LCK observers trying to rewrite history here. I see what's going on.
Be careful, Kobe.
I see what's going on here. Don't worry, Europe, I got your back.
Yeah, they can't believe it. There's no way that happens in the 2v2. Is Delight not going to find the Gleaming Quill onto Hansama, who's just standing his ground just fine up against the Lovers duo.
And to give credit to G2, I think that with this setup, you also identify one of the few weaknesses that Gen G has had consistently, which is specifically the laning phase of Pays and Delight. Once you get out of lane, I think they are, without a shadow of a doubt, the strongest bot lane that we have within the LCK. But it's not the first time that we've seen them fumble a little bit in the early laning phase.
Well, Peanut is just going to come on over and smite.
Not the penguin!
Yeah, that's his happy penguin. That's what he does every single time. You have to get used to it. Peanut is probably our biggest emoter in the LCK. Although it used to be Showmaker, but he's lost a bit of his pizzazz on that front. Peanut definitely loves it, so going to be able to steal that one away. Not the end of the world here for Yike.
And Peanut has had such an amazing year. Big advantage for him as he's able to finish up his top side here. Doran, it's been pretty quiet on top side, but he's also going to be able to push out. Let's take a look at the replay, though. This was the equalizer. Peanut, as we're talking about him, comes in, able to get the kill back here for Pays, set him up. And as we move forward, so much weight is going to be on the shoulders of Delight and Peanut. This initiation for Gen G. They've been so good in tandem as a pairing when they get to move together.
Yep. Chovy, of course, spotting out caps there, so the wall not going to come through. Mickey does know that he's unseen and in fog of war right now, but still, G2 probably just going to have to settle with a bit of a shove, get themselves out. First Drake is going to be that Cloud, and the Herald is going to be spawning in about 5 seconds time as well, so it could be the next place to pay your attention. Chovy has a big lead when it comes to farm, and it just shows that Caps has been looking for these angles elsewhere.
I was about to say, even with the early gank and Chovy almost dying, he's been able to maintain almost 10 CS per minute on the Akali here. Impressive stuff. And we saw yesterday, or I think it was, yesterday, with Swiss especially, we've had a lot of games where Chovy fell behind pretty substantially early. And
he was on average behind about 9 CS or something like that. We saw that in that comparison. As Delight wanting to find an angle here. You can see he's looking for something, with Peanut a little bit too far away. And now Chovy finding the 5-point strike, has the Shroud in hand, but is now going to use it. Yike is moving in, and the seismic shove going to be just barely avoided. Nicely done. Still, Peanut now looking for an opportunity. Yike not liking the 2v2 by the looks of things. Also, not liking the fact that it's Peanut that he's going to face check the brush.
Aha, free for strike money.
Let's see. Most important, he just doesn't care.
Whoa. Okay, he actually doesn't care. He didn't even
he didn't even look at it.
Wow.
He's up a wave.
I'm not going to lie. I think like if there's any flex for a player in top lane, that's it.
That is nutty.
Yeah, but that's not good.
No, it's not. No.
Is it? Did you see last game?
It's free money.
It kind of worked out.
Well, I'm not worried about Doran's mantle. Don't get me wrong. But that's free money you leave on the table.
Yeah, and he's saying, I don't need this. He's throwing it away.
Yeah, but that's bad.
Throw that money in the dirt.
You do need this. You want all the money.
Do you know what? The only money that he cares about is that 50 gold inside the Nexus. That's the one that he cares about. And he's going to see whether he can collect that one. Gen G only ahead by a little bit of gold because Doran keeps giving up these cannon minions. There's a hook that's going to connect, and the flick back as well. Chovy not dead just yet, but he has to flash. The Weaver's Wall comes down. Chovy still alive for so long. He ults to get himself into the fog of war, and now Mickey X doesn't have a lot of damage. The flash comes through. He's got the blast code, but the hook lands, and Mickey takes down the mid laner of Gen G.
Oh my, Mickey's able to land it. He's got no mana left after that though, so Yike's gonna get chased out and he pays the price.
There's the Magnet Storm. That is gonna be the kill going over to Doran, and it should also follow up with that Rift Herald. Now Pays versus Hans Sama. Not exactly the best moment here for Pays potentially, but we'll see how it is going to go as he's shoving this way forward. The culling just going to do a bit of damage, soften up the Xayah. He's gonna get to safety.
Really big there, because I think that might have been the window for G2, right? The moment Chovy goes down, even though he has CP, death timer is quite a while, as Pays might be in some trouble here. Cancel on the light.
Yeah, Black going to be able to get himself to the blast cone, but that means that he's not going to be able to get here to help out Pays. And Mickey looking for the dive. There is a big wave here. Still, Featherstorm is at the ready, and this is a dangerous dive to go for 2v1. And they are going to think better of it.
Yep, no ult for Mickey. Used it in the play on the top side. No ignite for him either, means that Gen G, not only is Pays going to be fine there, clear out the minions, but he's going to come over and add the DPS to finish up their dragon.
And I love the setup here from G2, right? They have the vision control. Chovy completely disrespects the lack of control that Gen G has, and they're able to actually get the kill. But because Gen G, on the end of this play, is able to still get the Herald, this heroic play from Mickey, both starting off on Chovy and then actually being able to take him down, doesn't actually end up being a big difference maker. It's just the back right there from Broken Blade. He's able to join the play, so Gen G still able to find the pick.
Yeah, Doran with the push on the top side comes on down.
And Yike also just going to give Chovy the thumbs up. He's like, I know you want to pad those CS stats. Nicely done. Certainly did that. And speaking of which, he is 20 ahead. He's having a pretty
they're
good time.
well padded.
Oh, I got that
yeah.
one. Oh, I was worried.
And still, even though Doran has missed a large amount of cannons, he is in a very good spot. 10 CS ahead of Broken Blade towards this top side of the map.
That's kind of weird. Broken Blade, why do you actually try for that cannon?
Yeah, top laners don't need them.
It's been
Didn't you hear?
Yeah, Doran's got the new strat.
I'm not in on this joke. Cannons matter.
Yeah, they do. But it's better for my mental, because it really bothers me when they just go wide. And it has just looked like he hasn't cared at all.
Of all the casters, we should know that Doran is a bit of an enigma as Caps.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Chovy not going to dive back over the rocks, which would hurt a fair bit. That shuriken backflip. And Doran is going to collect himself a plate. Certainly liking that one as Broken Blade, for an opportunity, the Infernal Chain is going to stop that, and the Q3 not going to connect. And Doran, with his Gore Drinker, feeling pretty happy.
It's weird because he cares about all other sources of gold.
Yeah, right.
Kills, getting all the other kinds of minions, tower plates.
Seismic shove not going to hit. Chovy is going to land a backflip though, as Cap's in trouble, and Chovy's going to lock it down. Perfect execution gets him back to the minion wave.
And the ultimate.
Oh no.
He got Caps' flash as well because the Akali passive auto attack. Chovy got it off. That is really rough for G2. Not only do they lose their mid laner, it's a Rift Herald put up in mid. Yike already used the ultimate as well. That thing's going to crash. Chovy's going to get even more fed on this Akali.
And he got the cannon.
Oh, and now Peanut is making his way towards Broken Blade. There's the stun, but he does get a bit of a pushback. Can he actually find an opportunity? But Peanut is too tanky. The last auto attack from the turret is not going to connect, and he calculated it, I guess. Broken Blade goes back and collects himself his Frozen Fist, and he's going to see whether he can be that frontline for G2 as Hans Sama looking for an opportunity here towards the bottom side. It's a bouncy castle provided by Mickey. Gen.G are just going to back away.
One big problem though with so much attention being paid towards the top side of the map and it not quite working out is that the Gen.G bot lane actually is feeling quite fine. Do take another unfun amount of damage, but when you look at the CS, still able to maintain it. Oh, Caps.
It's a jump scare. That's going to be the knock-up with the Q2. There's a flash Q3 as Caps is going to find the seismic shove, and can he keep this Aatrox at bay? He's going to have... Oh, doesn't get the knock-up in time, and the teleport is going to be blown to make sure that Caps survives.
Nice little evasive maneuvers there from Caps. Gets the seismic shove and then goes into the brush to try and drop vision and allow himself to ult out. And he was going to be fine, but Broken Blade already used teleport up to top side anyway.
Gets the flash as well. So Doran actually not going to have quite the same amount of backline access. We do see, though, as mentioned, that although Hans Sama and Mickey were able to get a slight lead, Chovy somehow came out of this lane unscathed, and Doran, having been mostly left alone, was able to build this big a gold lead.
I'm a believer. The anti-cannon strat.
Yeah, it's working. Look at that money. Must have come from somewhere.
Biggest lane lead in the entire game. So we get another look at it, and of course, Chovy had the Q. The end of the Q, the 5-point strike finishes him off, even with the flash there from Caps. And you know the end of this story as well, as Peanut came in. And Peanut was taking the tower. Calculated, though, no problem for him. Master of his craft.
Okay, Caps is dead in the bottom lane. We're going to need to go back and do another replay in order to find out how the heck that started. But this is starting to go from bad to worse here as Gen.G move towards a 2,000 gold lead. Next Drake going to be that Ocean. I think my count is about 36 for the tournament.
So we're keeping track of cannons, we're keeping track of oceans.
We're trying not to keep track of cannons, to be perfectly honest. It only makes people depressed, Chronicler.
Hans.
Yeah, he's getting chased down here by Peanut and Delight. He finds the W, but Yike is able to move himself out of the way.
Again, those two on the Rakan and Rel, the duo of jungle support roaming. They get 2 flashes for their trouble. Gen.G are just snowballing this one kind of out of control.
And this is something that I have to really give Gen.G credit for, and that I think makes him so hard to play into. Got it.
He got a cannon. He did. He invested a Q2 for it. And he even moved back with his Umbral Dash and didn't hit Broken Blade.
Taking into account that, I'm still firmly of the belief that there should not be a Delight on Rakan ever. As Peanut, the main reason why I want to make this point is because Peanut got what? Like, out of these 2 games, like 8 champions banned against him in total. And he's still 100% kill participation on the realm, making things happen left and right as Chovy.
He's in trouble. He's going to ult just to try and get that ult to Prime. Can he get over anything? The answer is no. He's going to be able to at least use it, but Hans Sama grabs that kill. And now the all-out's going to be used here by Broken Blade to try and get himself out of here, but it's not going to work out. The CC duo will bear down on him. And that is going to be enough. But it's a 1-for-1 across the map here, and it does mean that the Drake goes into the hands of G2.
Exactly. Considering that G2, their position and how far they were behind, pretty good for them to be able to get the shutdown kill onto Chovy Zakali, even though they sacrificed topside again. Broken Blade going down, plus the Herald, plus the tower up there. They're able to equalize it here for Caps.
Yep, and the goal difference provided by AWS showing us that things going a little bit worse than the previous game for G2. But I think that with the fact that there's no better Maokai ultimate, things like that, maybe there's some possibilities. As Caps is now in trouble once again. Chovy's angry, they ganged up on him before. So the wall is going to be used, and Caps is even only going to ride half of it because he likes the look of the minion wave. He will be A-okay.
Still another cooldown for us, although the teleport, not the worst of trades, as Akali can be notoriously slippery. There are diminishing returns on that, and G2 have more than enough tools.
That's why they
take
brought
him
4
down.
people, and Maokai ulted towards the tower, so he had nowhere to go back to. Meanwhile, the answer play.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. I imagine BB was trying to push out the wave so that there was no dive possible. Should know that a counterplay is coming across, given how heavy the investment of G2 is towards the bot side of the map, but doesn't actually get it. Is surprised by Doran out of the brush and ends up getting taken down.
Peanut hurting G2 right now, as there is the Magnus Storm. Delight dives in as well, and everyone's charmed. The grand entrance is massive. Hansama just deleted from the rift, and now Chovy just waiting for that blast going, and he follows Caps. Can he find the angle is the question. The ult2's not going to get there. Perfect execution, not exactly named correctly in that moment, but Gen G still come away ahead.
These Rakan Rel engages. Oh, it is so beautiful, so hard to get away from. Delight initially. Chovy's actually still poking around here. He wants more. He wants to help out Rift Herald, and Rift Herald's getting in there. The tower's down. Gen G, they're not done. Doran's behind tier 2.
The World Ender has been popped. Doran is just trying to get them out of here as Peanut dives over. Okay, there's the shattering strike as he gets crashed down upon. Does Mickey throws out the ultimate. That's going to be the answer, but it's not going to save this inner turret. And like Baron hasn't even spawned yet, and they are pushing them away from their inners.
And all they get in return is a topside turret. It's not feeling great.
However, they do get it.
Yeah, they also got the cannon, but that's not what we're focusing on, okay? The big thing here is that because of how aggressive Gen G is playing, G2 never ever gets the setup of playing Kobe. You were talking about it, that engage power for Peanut and Delight is so hard to play into.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of my favorite combos in the game because it's so good at team fighting. You saw there, either one can actually start it out. This time around, it was Peanut. And then Delight followed up, but Chovy wanted a little bit more there. He gets the flash burn from Caps as well. They're just constantly going at this Taliyah. Burning Caps' flash, going after kills. Hansama's next. He's able to get away this time around, though. Just dashes over towards the rest of his teammates.
He was charging the Hex Flash. They are going to look for a little bit of an angle, but with Baron now 20 seconds away, that is where you're going to need to be. And it's Infernal Rift as well, so everything is opened up as far as that Baron Pit is concerned. Yike going to collect the blue buff, so I'm going to grab one as well. And we're going to see where the next attack is going to take place. 4,000 gold lead for Gen G. Surmountable, perhaps, but still, it's going to be a very, very tough one here for G2.
Playing Maokai on Infernal Rift also always feels a little bit sad. You know,
yeah.
Less brush.
Like, where are my choke points?
Where are my choke points? Where is my Ocean Rift? Where are my sapling spots? They're not there.
Yeah.
Which thematically, I gotta say, do kind of like that, you know, because he's a tree.
Yeah.
I really appreciate thematic consistency in a video game. I think League of Legends is
I mean, from this point
right in.
From this point on, it's just so hard for G2 because they're really, really going to get outscaled. They do not have any really good end game characters drafted here. It was a lot on, you know, trying to snowball with a Lucian lane mid, with a roaming mid laner there, or with a Lucian lane bottom and a roaming mid from Caps here with the Taliyah. If that gets behind, like, you're not going to be able to team fight your way out of this, and you're also not going to be able to split your way out of it because Chovy Zakali rules the side lanes, as does Doran here. And Gen G, they can both push out side lanes, get themselves priority on these objectives in the setup for the 5-on-5, and then have advantage in the 5-on-5.
And even though Hans is on item parity with Paze, like, how is he actually supposed to team fight against an Akali that's going to try and jump on top of him? Peanut, who on the rel has still 100% kill participation, continuously goes in, double Radiant Virtue, and the light on Rakan. There's just so little space, you can only cleanse a single thing.
He's not. He's
not?
playing
Oh, well,
Lucian, short-range champion, into the Rel Rakan, which we mentioned has really good early picks there. It makes it so hard to play the game. But, okay, G2, maybe they can make some picks. When you're in a position like this, you're looking to try and use Talia wall and to try and pick somebody off away from the rest of the team. There are a couple of small bounties on the side of Gen G. If they can try and take down one champion, maybe they can start to chain things together to get themselves a foothold back into this game, because otherwise Gen G will just keep up
it's just
the
kind of
pace
having,
here. Dragon number 2 will go down quite easily.
And against Weibo, they were able to make that comeback, right? They were able to get the multi-man wombo combo, then aided by Broken Blade. I think his Yone in particular being such a pivotal part of that turnaround, and maybe he can find a pick here as well.
Looking for an opportunity under Delight. They do manage to interrupt his attempt to get out, but there's the Magnus Storm, and in dives Chovy. There's just not enough damage from G2 as Paze goes up into the air. Delight locks down that kill, and it's Chovy that's popping up in the back line. Hansama not going to be able to do anything, and now Caps has to try to flash away, but it's not going to work as he gets backflipped on by Chovy. He picks up the double in the end, and Gen G look to the Baron.
A 5-4-0. It looks like Delight might go down, but no. Somehow he survives, tankier than you might think with the Radiant Virtue and the Mercs, and the turnaround from Gen G is impeccable.
It's actually pretty nasty, a couple of things he does. Watch as he's able to get back to Paze, and then when Cassante comes in as well, he hits a really nicely timed W on the ult of Cassante. Here, Broken Blades go for him, he gets the W, they kill him in the air. The backline is so safe. Meanwhile, Chovy here, he doesn't even care about the rocks.
Third wasn't even there.
He took a lot of damage from them as well, but it's just not enough. And this is the problem that you guys already illustrated, right? Like G2, when they're behind, do quite enough. And oh man, Delight when he's having a good time is, it definitely shows.
He's aptly named.
Yeah. He's like, oh, they've got
the power of crouching heavy punch, and that's it.
Oh my god, just letting her get that windstock too. If you windstocks, of course you don't want her to get all of that, because when she does Corner Spire, you really gotta guess or use some bar to get her off of you. Oh, tries to go for the tri-pit pack, but if it's more than 3 hits, that breaks it.
And that's what the X version for. Very solid for catching you in situations like that. And yeah, crouching heavy, light windstock is safe to drive impact. You can drive impact back. If you do the medium or heavy though, it's pretty scary. So.
Counter Spire, yep, like I mentioned before, using that drive reversal just to give off of me, but just that pixel health. Remember, you want to be really careful. Oh my gosh.
Corner. Oh, but he did empty jump, crouching heavy punch, and it wasn't immediate to the jab. And he woke up jab. That was a scary spot, scary button to hit if you're Nauman.
Oh no, misses the grab. Maybe just a little too early. Just gotta delay it, especially kind of recovering from drive rush. Here we go. Jinrai into the super 2. It's doing a lot of damage. And I really like how Nauman is letting Puguro get hits, but misses the super. That's
brutal.
it. I think that's it. Wait, no.
Not quite, yeah. Doesn't have super gauge or anything to get the kill, but lock.
Oh no! Interesting. Okay, gets the perfect KO off that. You know, I was gonna say that Nauman has been doing so well, just kind of like throwing in block streams over and over again, because he does not want Puguro to get those win stocks, because that's where Lily shines. When she has those win stocks, she's so strong. You gotta use some bar to get her off of you.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing is like about Lily is Condor Spire is really cheap, but I think a lot of the other stuff about her is not that powerful, right? Like so much of her power is front loaded in that move.
Ooh, ODDP, perfect situation, especially being outside of the corner. Now Puguro has to think of something real quick here. Gets hit by the overhead, backdashes, but catches Nauman.
Empty jump command grab, and very close to killing now Puguro. First drive rush pressure, just chilling, poking away with that sandy medium punch.
Oh no, that can get a punish, but nice. Here we go. Puguro getting that windstock. 2 windstocks, 1 windstock. Nice. Going for that round. Nauman also having that 1 match up. He's able to get a round off of here.
But I don't have toes.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn.